Welcome to Specialisation Assessment and Reporting. This video is going to explain the overall intention of the design of the unit, as well as the nuances of the specialisation workshop and the structure involved in them. So this unit, you will be focusing on both of your specialisations. Around the understandings of assessment and reporting. So you will be looking at how policy, theory, and practice are informing, 7 to 12 assessment, as well as the reporting approaches in those year levels. And with this idea of, having this pedagogical understanding around these practices in assessment and reporting. So this unit is designed looking at three main areas of assessment and reporting: the way teachers collaborate with peers, analysing student data to inform future planning, the different types of feedback in your specialisations. And these areas will be developed through in-class experiential activities, the Department of Education Policy and Standards, study guides, different theoretical practices and approaches, as well as the evening workshops, which will be led by experienced teacher practitioners. There are three assessments in this unit. Two are in-class scenario assessments, which are modelled on real school practices. And the third is an in-class experience as well, which you can develop outside of the class as well. So this unit has a unique focus on design, which is different to its preceding units. The main focus is the way in which the learning is undertaken for you in this unit, which we tried to model the practices that are needed for assessment, as well as the types of practices teachers carry out in schools. So the important focus point of this unit includes its anchor points. So we continually make connections back to assessment and experiences from the previous two specialisation units, the junior secondary and the senior secondary. We weave a narrative about pedagogy and curriculum through this in terms of making improvements on student planning and teaching approaches over these units. The design of the in-class activities is intentional. So everything, including the before class readings, are designed around developing your individual planning around these assessments, and around assessment and reporting. The readings are going to directly inform your assessment, but also inform the experiences that you undertake in class. It's all around collaboration, thinking and working together to solve problems. There's a high focus on moderation, where two assessments are heavily focused on collaboration and moderation, and we have chosen to do this to scaffold your understandings around these areas, which are so important for classroom practice. The assessments have been backwards designed. So some of the focuses include intellectual standards used to assess thinking, achievement standards, policy documents in your specialisation, ILPs and IEPs, reporting feedback, and data and things like that. Critical and creative thinking capabilities are focused on this unit as well. So you look at how you can assess the process of thinking and learning in your specialisation, with the idea that you want to improve student learning outcomes for the standardised testing in specialisations. We're looking for the meaning behind data. What does student data mean? So let's have a look at the weeks. We have the weeks 1 and 2 where you will attend the tutorial, the 2-hour tutorial. In week 2, you will have the specialization workshop, which is the first session of 2.5 hours, one night during that week. Weeks 3, 4, 5, and 6, you have placement, so there are no classes. Week 7, you have the 2-hour class plus the second half of that specialization workshop. Weeks 8 and 9, you have the specialization workshop, the second one only. So weeks 8, you'll have session 1, and weeks 9, you'll have session 2. Okay, so you won't have the 2-hour classes in those 2 weeks, and that's in lieu of these specialization workshops. And then we have return to normal. We have weeks 10, 11, and 12 with the 2-hour classes, the tutorials scheduled. And then in week 12, you have that in-class assessment. So weeks 1 and 2, you have the assessment experience split over the 2 weeks. And obviously in weeks 8 and 9, you have the assignment 2 specialization workshop in those 2 weeks. So these workshops, as I've already mentioned, are split over 4 weeks. So you have 2.5 hours each week, starting at 5:45 to 8:15 on the same night of those weeks that it's scheduled. Workshop 1 is a hurdle task. So these are modules that have been created for to help you understand assessment reporting from your specialization. They will help inform your assessments, but they will also help inform your future teaching. You will complete the activities of the workshop 1, whatever that might be in terms of what your workshop teacher has presented, and then you will submit that response or the responses to those activities in the Dropbox. Workshop 2 is the assessment task. And again, you'll be collaborating with your peers in this workshop in conjunction with the specialization workshop teacher. You will submit as a group, and workshop 1 and workshop 2 are both required to be completed to achieve a satisfactory for the unit. So during these workshops, teachers are going to provide you feedback. So this is the opportunity to ask lots of questions. They have been allocated 1 hour per workshop session. So each session has 1 hour, so a total of 2 hours per specialization. And this is the time for them to, present to you the important points of their module or the assessment task, depending on which workshop you're looking at. They have a lot of experience. So this is where, as I said before, you ask lots of questions. They have currency. Most of them are teaching this year. So they know what to expect, and they know what you should be focusing on in terms of your teaching and the assessment task for workshop 2. So use them as a resource. So this is just outlining the 2 workshops. As I said before, this one is all about the experiences of assessment reporting in secondary schools, looking at the challenges and complexities faced in your specialization in terms of the hurdle. And then workshop 2, split over the 2 weeks, you'll be focusing on what is student data. So you'll have a real life scenario of a PAT test. And you'll need to take that PAT test and analyze, what does this actually mean? What is this data telling you? And how would you use that to improve your teaching and learning outcomes in your specialization? You will also have some experience in writing a student report and giving feedback to a student. You'll be provided with some work samples where you'll design a rubric and give feedback to a student's piece of work. These are workshop experiences. They're not lectures. So we hope that you develop your understandings and expertise in your specialisation to help inform your assessments and your, future teaching practice. We hope you enjoy these workshops and this unit. Looking forward to seeing you in the first lesson.